want to give you a heads up, the game is not the prettiest looking thing in the world. Because this is a port from a PlayStation Vita game. It used to be exclusive. Now it's on PC with all the, supposedly all the trimmings. Sleeping in just your unwanted jet, you are not expecting a body pillow to provide the warmth of the human being. If it's an electric body pillow, you might have had a chance. Been sick since November 11th. Why that day? Why 11/11? Hello. All the gangs here. Hello, Zero Time. And Crimson. Let's see. I love when you boot the game up, the first thing it asks you, is there save data? Yes or no? Male or lady? Okay, yeah, man or woman. Then the game, then you get this stuff. But it's kind of weird. You have to pick with the scroll wheel or the D-pad on the right. You can't use WASD. It's a Japanese PC port, so it's probably not going to let me customize it. So let's see how bad we scroll. Oh, and to accept, you have to hit F or right click. You don't hit enter or spacebar. Well, my microphone isn't too bad, but I was trying to record that rant, which I'm finishing up, the video editing. Parts of it were really clear, and parts of it were echoey for no good reason. I need an actual solution, not just this tiny box. It just failed me. Identify as ye, no, you mean ye and ha. World War I ends 105 years ago. I start feeling ill. So do you blame the Serbians or do you blame the Germans for this? It's just a normal attacker. Let's just hope this ends well. Cause I did nothing. In the year 28X, Marvel in the process of terraforming was undergoing a planet remodeling and using an automatic system called Ants. A mission plan that would take 300 years to complete, but the situation on Earth worsened as the plans accelerated and billions started to migrate. Constructing huge dome-shaped colonies and regions with relatively stable climates due to terraforming and rushed to construct cities. It was constructed on the Deimos satellite that told the number of troops, and the DATs, also a team of the Wolf Federation, but in reality it's just a mercenary force for his destroyed arms of the mecha units. Meanwhile, rumors of the Great War on Earth 100 million kilometers away from Deimos. That leave control, training control per usual. It's always 20XX. I'm guessing they can only afford 1X this time around. Complete all training. Mission 1, Starship Troopers. An intentional homage or a rare case of clever localization. That's to start mission. We need to go back to school. Germans says they let in out of Swiss exiles to send to stabilize Russia. Oh yeah, blame the germs. Okay, now the WASD works. Wait. Okay, so the standby. Okay, so with the right. Okay, so with the right D-pad here on the keyboard, you can actually you can tell them defense, attack, command, standby. Oh god, it's like Sheva from Resident Evil 5 all over again, but you don't have to hold down two buttons. Standby. Oh, there's no running. That's your only speed. Coming to you live from the cold, rainy Manhattan Island. Oof. So awkward to use with the mouse here. No jumping ability? Alright. Honestly, I can get to work on PlayStation and have an emulator. If I can find the file, there was a Dynasty Warriors Gundam game. I remember seeing that in Shonen Jump as a kid. That was like, whoa, I need to get that, but I didn't have an Xbox 360. I had the Wii, but I didn't have, you know, good internet, so what would have the point been? first stream of 2024, we already had issues getting the stream to work. I had the link, it wasn't showing up on YouTube, I had to reset it. Hope your guys' New Year's so far has been pretty good. Japan has been kind of crazy the past couple of days. What should I make? 52 IQ move right there. Let's do this. Crazy how? Okay, so it was New Year's Day, I believe, or it was the second. I forget what it was. Because my weekend was kind of a blur. Disney friends and all that. There was on the very north center of Japan. There was an earthquake. We have something called the Shindo, which is like the death toll system, and it has a 7 there. And that means that if it's a 7, it means even the strong buildings are collapsing. As high as you can get. That's not to be confused with the Richter scale. I think Richter scale was a heavy 6, almost a 7, but buildings were collapsing. Like, I've never seen a building just, at least on TV, you know, just fall straight up sideways like a cartoon. Insane. Then the day after that, that was the 4th, I want to say. We actually had, one of the Japan Airlines planes, the turbine fucked up and caught on fire. And then one of the other big cities, it's not Shibuya though, but of course they go on a crazy stabbing spree. Like these days were back to back to back. And the absolutely nutty part about it is that it wasn't even a week. Like it's barely the 7th here, and within 3 days back to back to back, you have all these things going down. Everyone's already making jokes on Japanese Twitter, like, "Oh yes, the year of the dragon. He's angry. It took him. It's his turn again." Hello, Edwin. Yeah, I have co-workers who went out of the mainland or were coming from Hokkaido or something like that, you know. And they had to take the bullet trains back. And the bullet trains was like, people were scrambling for a seat because there was just, everyone was kind of railroaded on the, no pun intended, on the same trains. And some of the regular trains even, by coincidence, were having issues that day. Not related at all to the plane crash, of course. Like there's one that goes from Tokyo to the East Coast and then the center. That one, I saw it had delays for unexpected noise, so... Conquered this damn thing. Yeah, the Japanese can have a dark sense of humor when they want to, they just don't do it in public, you know. Like, when I was first in Japan, there was a train that, where we were was a very kind of, a semi-remote region. Like, if you had a car, it was okay, but if you did it, it was like one main train in, one main train out. And someone had sadly jumped that day. And there were 2 main stations you could get off before the end of the rail. And we got stuck on that stop in the middle, so we were stuck for a couple of hours. And there was someone like on that forum chat, Yahoo, just typing in, "Bro, couldn't they have waited till Monday to give it a 3-day weekend?" I'm like, bro, that's no chill at all. I control the wheel too. Dude, what am I doing wrong? Hold it down, alright. Japan counted Barbie these Americans. Japan made some Barbenheimer memes. They lost their shit. Barbie can well Obama Bin Laden. Bro, that's funny, dude. Dude, Bin Ladenheimer. Oh my god. Oh, heads up. Oppenheimer, I think, is gonna come out either end of this month or beginning of next month. Yeah, so it's not banned in Japan. It's gonna have a very limited release. Before y'all say that, well, to be fair, Western cinema always gets a delay here in Japan. You're on the edge because apparently there's It's a ladder or something there? Game's audio's a bit too loud. Oh. Tell me sooner, give me a sec. Is that better now? My apologies. I know the game's kind of creaky, but okay, so she has to go in these little that explains. That's where the little bad boys are. It makes sense. Yeah, did not mean for the game to be that loud. I was wondering why nothing was going on. I don't know if I played this. It's on PS4, it's on Switch and PC. But if you had a Vita, you probably might have played it, but it was a Japan exclusive at the time. But the Vita was a region-free device. Yeah. And Marvelous love support these miniature games for PC. Oh, so that tells you in the top right corner, okay, 128 hours of contact. Hey, you got achievement for having all 3 mechs to make it to the end. Buchanan. One part you could get to develop. Oh, so it automatically gets rid of duplicates for you. Oh, that's nice. You don't have to get rid of them yourself. Looted parts only 4 out of 5. Yeah. This year I want to do more than just streaming, maybe even stream less if it means putting out some music on the channel here. Attacker. Blocker supporter. I want to have I'll try the heavy gunner this time around. Series, giant ice asteroid 1,000 kilometers from diameter is approaching Mars. 500 million kilometers away to create an ocean from Mars. Just about reaches final stage. Large position of satellite Phobos carrying out tasks series into Mars satellite orbit. The DAT is conducting train simulations related to targeting enemy surface structures. Yeah. So how would that sound, guys, if I started doing more music stuff? I gotta loop the muzzle brake and everything else. Gotcha. Metal for sure, but maybe some synthwave. I forget. Or some other electronic music. Because I have keyboards, that's why. And it's easier to do keyboards with techno than it is, you know, other stuff. What kind of music? Well, metal and techno would be the big ones. But I'm not opposed to doing anything. That's kind of the problem. I like music too much. Most people are like, I like music, and then they have 3 or 4 genres that they like. But I like I like a bit of everything, and I mean unironically everything. Okay. He has a quick step, just gotta time that one step just right. Yeah, covers and compositions, because other thing is that, you know, I'm mostly keyboard and bass, but I have a guitar, so I can try to do easier guitar stuff to get better at it. I eventually do want to branch out into original compositions. The big problem, well, not problem, the issue I have is that if you're telling me a jam group of buddies, you know, we're recording, whatever happens, that's fine, because whatever, I probably shouldn't shoot that. That's fine, because whatever happens. But when you, you know, you're recording in an interface and a DAW, you put it on a record, you have to actually sit down and mix and master the music, you know. Make sure it sounds okay, not too loud, not too compressed. Unless you're doing black metal, in that case, anything goes. Oh shit. Drones, come on. Always the skinny types too. It's not as bad as any bats in the Castlevania games, that's for sure. There's some really crazy gaming news. I'm trying to remember it. It was like, oh yeah, Square Enix is doubling down on the NFT stuff, and Enix apparently is now going to employ more AI illustrations into their own creations. So, bruh, that's like, Y button? Which one's Y? Oh yeah. Why is it labeled XBYA? I have to change it to based on 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't match up. You did it. Squares are running out of money. I think Sony exclusivity deals. Yeah, pick the one console that has damn near no exclusive. You can say Xbox is worse, but at least Xbox has Game Pass. And because the problem is that a lot of Sony exclusives, like the one, at least for me, that I like Sly Cooper, Killzone, Jak and Daxter, all the exclusives that I liked, they're not making those anymore. That's why I don't have any faith in Sony. And the ones they do, like God of War, the reboot, I kind of call it God of Dad of War, because it's basically what it is, the dad now. It's clear that they're not catering to the old fans anymore. They're trying to cater to the new people who like stories overall. Unexpectedly, contact is local with all the colonies and surface of Mars, and troops presently are on standby in order to investigate and having finished the training, regime that space elevator kit and Deimos and Mars. Sony, because the comparison is doing awful. But yeah, that is true. But remember, Sony also knows that they've been gripped by the balls by Microsoft. Because remember, Microsoft, Activision Blizzard owns Bethesda now, which is owned by Microsoft. No, sorry. Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard and Bethesda, and all the little smaller groups inside as well, including Raven and id Software. So if they wanted to, they could say, hey, you know what, Doom Eternal or Doom Reboot Part 3 is just not going to come on PlayStation. And they could, if they wanted, they could easily cripple. Like, remember, there's a lot of talks because Sony knows that the moment that they cannot get Call of Duty, it's over. It doesn't matter on Switch because Switch can't handle Call of Duty, but Switch has other games to compensate. They got Splatoon. it's not Call of Duty, but it's a very different, unique way of playing a first-person shooter. Or sorry, third. Well, I think you can toggle on that one. At least in the first one, you could. And Bethesda was apparently a big disappointment. Because it's Bethesda. Remember, Doom was good because it's id Software. It has the legacy. It's the guys who did the shit. It are the people who they made Doom Eternal on a 2060 in 2019. Who else authorizes their game? What you can have a next-gen PS4 game, borderline PS5, run on a 2060. Most games now, developers are so crappy and lazy that you have to upgrade to compensate for their shit programming and everything. Battlefield. Here's the problem. They're not the same thing. Battlefield has decided they're going to try to go. They've kind of given up on that stuff and they want to go more with a realism audience, which is fine. But compared to Call of Duty now, which is basically taking a lot more from Fortnite than the military shooter genre. You have Nicki Minaj in there, man, and Judge Dredd in the same game. Or was Judge? Wait, that or Judge Dredd was in the previous one. Was it Warzone? Warzone's been going on for so long I can't keep track anymore. EA is really hit or miss. EA makes either heavy pieces of tungsten, or you get gold and silver. You rarely get it in between with EA. Like I just wish Star Wars Rogue Squadron had better online, because apparently the game is infamous for disconnecting, and if you disconnect too much, it'll penalize you, which is harder to get a match. People have been like DQ'd so much because of the bad internet server things that it's hard for them to get a match. So the game is now effectively only single player, even though it looks really good with the HOTAS and VR. I wanted to buy it too. I know it's EA, but it's like one of those exceptions to the rule kind of games. Not buying the new Assassin's Creed though. 20k kilometers high, the space elevators was relaying low-cut materials transport between Deimos, satellite, and Mars. I was traveling with 2,000 kilometers an hour to cargo-less space. That lands on Mars and step foot in the dry red planet. First task is to deploy the radar through Valens, Veneris, and investigate the nearby colony of Venarius 2. Yeah, because Call of Duty is so big. The problem with Call of Duty was from Activision. Activision, have you ever seen how they handle every major IP they get? Be it Call of Duty, Guitar Hero, Tony Hawk. The moment one of them makes money, it becomes a franchise that they milk to death by putting out 2, 3, sometimes 4 releases a year, and then they wonder why people get sick of it. Remember going Guitar Hero? Well, we had Guitar Hero Van Halen come out the same year as Guitar Hero 4. They had Guitar Hero DS, and there was one more they also had to come out. It feels like and that year alone, because they kept going till Guitar Hero 6 and like around the turn of the decade. Yes, I grew up with Medal of Honor. For me, on the GameCube, Medal of Honor and Sarge's War were the two big ones that we played a lot. And if you never played Sarge's War, come on, man! It's a third-person shooter over the shoulder where you play as a plastic green army man, and you see the plastic just chip away instead of blood. It's hilarious. It was actually a well-designed shooter too. It was tricky at points. Especially capture the flag, and if one of your buddies was a good enough sniper, it was just a pain in the ass.
All green. 戦闘を開始してください。こちらデイモス。敵はアンツ。武装しています。
Into combat we go. Do 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 do. I cannot play Battle Hymn right now for copyright reasons. Just pretend I'm doing it. 2. I just keep shouldering the phone. When your fist is your weapon, you can legit punch them there. Oh my god. Who programmed this? This is hilarious. Gotta be an easy way to remap this keys. It really has to be. Okay. How do I change it back? Oh! Choose the jump button, okay. This one's... I have to actually hit the actual B button on the keyboard to switch back. So the shoulder and fist are 1 and 2, but the actual main gun is B. I gotta see if we can actually even remap this, but knowing it's Japanese ports, I doubt it. I'll go with them. The original Medal of Honor are meant to be Saving Private Ryan, the game. See the Spielberg and DreamWorks directed by P. With a idea towards end of shooting. Yeah, Spielberg? Yeah, Spielberg's surprisingly willing to work with video games. I know he contributed some bits to Halo. You've just been conquered, woman. Oh, Jesus! Oh. Clumsy me. Who died? I did not give you permission to die. Come back. I order y'all to come to follow me. It's not B, it's G. It's the G key. Oh my god. You think I was supposed to direct the Halo movie after King Kong? Yeah, I'm not sure. But it would surprise me to get Peter Jackson, considering when he's a fan of something, he's a fan. Now I'm thinking of movie-based games. I think the weirdest ones that tend to be good are the ones that actually just are loosely based off the movie, like Wolverine Origins. Peter Jackson could have done a better than whoever the fuck made that show. See, the problem right there is the comparison of the time era. Back in the 2000s, people saw potential in adaptations, but the irony is that the studios kept getting so involved that they actually were horrible. So essentially, you had a person who was competent enough for the job, but then they were never going to be given that chance. On the flip side, nowadays, they pick up these materials explicitly to tarnish them. And their excuse is that, well, this other series made changes back in the day and the fans like it, why can't we do ours? I mean, again, their excuse. Because they kind of figured out that there's only been more out-group than in-group, so it's just easier to adapt whatever the hell they want to. Like, sometimes you have a bad show with cool concepts, even, but... How many more do we have? 2? Okay. Listen closer. Also, Jack was fortunate enough to have actually kept the material with Lord of the Rings. Yeah, but that's also Lord of the Rings. It's a hallmark piece, you know what I mean? When it's a piece that has dedicated fans, or you have an actor a director who tells them you're going to read the book and the material. I mean, let's use The Last of Us as an example. The director of that show for The Last of Us told the actress who played Ellie, she wanted to at least watch the game to know what the performance was supposed to be like, and the director told her, no, I don't want you watching. I don't want you watching it because I want you to give a different performance. That's kind of a red flag. I mean, if you want to do something, Why not? I mean, if you want something different, you could have him watch and know what not to do at least. God damn it. Rocket launcher. Not a lot of comment on Strive anymore. What happened? Did they make Bridget eat too thick for everyone to handle? What the hell's on? You check on some of the skulls from the Kong in 33. Yep, it's hard to get a fan war than that. Because the paradox of adaptation is, if I like it, keep the same. If I hate this IP, change it so that I will like it. And a lot of times when they do that, it means change it. But there's a reason why America was going to only get Pacific Rim and never Evangelion. And I pick Evangelion on purpose because it's still a champion in terms of being a moneymaker as well as being the big influence since Gundam. It's arguably the most influential mecha since Gundam. How do I jump? Oh, I can change it with the Z button too? So Z button, wheel, and the third thing. Okay. How do I jump then? Just Q? On the blue one. Last of Us turned out okay, it's by the propaganda. Yeah, because, but I hate to say it, Last of Us was always going to be okay. Because who were the biggest fans? The people who really don't play video games for the gameplay. It was mostly a story-based one. And remember, you also had the Walking Dead Telltale game come out, so the expectation was there. It's the most overrated first-person shooter of all fucking time. Because even the fans who love it can only tell you about the story, not the gameplay. They adapted Last of Us with zombie genre all the way out. But that's because that's Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog essentially is what Kojima wants to be. Interactive movies with some gameplay, but with critical praise instead of mixed reception. I'll say this: Kojima, I may not like what he puts out, like Death Stranding, but I understand what the hell he's trying to do. He wants a game that's weird, that will weird you out, but that's strangely therapeutic that you would never get in a typical video game. But of course, you know, the Metal Gear Solid legacy will forever follow him. So whether it's good or not, it's gonna have to live up to Metal Gear Solid 1 or 3, depending which one you think is the best one. I don't count Revenge because he didn't make that one, and it's a very different intent of humor, you know. They wait too long with the view Dinosaur 23. I don't think they waited too long. I think they're just being cheap with the budget, you know what I mean? Because video game adaptations tend not to get lots of money in the budget, historically speaking. Destroy all enemies, but all enemies are destroyed. You go then. Some games that work best video games. Yeah, the thing also is that people have to remember the keyword adaptation is to adapt. Because hate to say it, are there going to be things that works better as video games? Yes, but there are things that could also work good as movies. The trick is, are you willing to make the compromise based on the medium? Like, for example, let's pretend they made a Zelda movie. Let's pretend Peter Jackson was in charge of making a Zelda film. The question I'm going to ask, lots of people say, oh, you can't do that, you can't do that. My question is, why is Zelda okay as a manga? Or if that got adapted to an anime, why is that okay but not a movie if it was going to literally just be the manga in a movie form? So that's what I mean. You make adaptations, you have to make concessions and play around it. There are things you can do in a film that work great that are terrible for video games and vice versa. I'm speaking very general on terms here, but if you want a great example, look at The Godfather. Compare The Godfather, the novel, to Godfather, the movie, to the first Godfather, the video game. All of them are very different points. Fallout might have a similar problem of the infamous Beta 76, yeah. I know you typed in 76. But the other thing also is that a lot of times what makes a concept cool is that they okay, these would be different came up post Fallout 4. The other thing is the concept. Sometimes concepts are cool to do, but you have to know how to execute them, no pun intended. Look at that, Peacock had made that show, what's it called? Twisted Metal, yeah. They turned it from a demolition derby to a death race. Narrative-wise, that's not a bad idea, but game-wise, the point is to be a demolition derby, you know? But arguably, as long as you have the cast of characters and the fucked up Dragon's Paw wishes, you theoretically could get away with it as a film product. At its peak, I don't know, man. I'm one of the guys who's like, Fallout doesn't have a peak. It's like a stroke, just like bouncing up and down all over the goddamn place. Replicating construction robots named ants were originally added to aid in terraforming in Mars. Sustaining minerals, built factories, replicated, cultivated vast swaths of land, eventually creating large cities. So these forces ants have armed themselves and running rampage. Running rampage? They mean rampant. Oh. Optimus present in the four colonies and fell in combat with his enemy. Meanwhile, investigations launched into the mother computer present in Deimos. Kind of. Again, depending on the medium, I'm willing to make concessions. The best example of this is Resident Evil, the animated films, at least the first two, Damnation and Degeneration. Because the first one was really, had some action and then it became this mystery movie with action elements. And the second one became survival horror action. And both of them worked, the animated films, because they kind of knew what they were playing with. And again, and ironically, it worked better as a film than what Resident Evil 6 tried to accomplish for Damnation. And Degeneration essentially is like, hey, you kind of want the atmosphere of Code Veronica as a movie, you got Degeneration. I've seen a bit of the original, the first two of the original series, and I've only seen the first remake of the Death Race. Of course, they had to use Welcome to the Jungle as a song. It got side tangent. Why is it? It's only Guns N' Roses and AC/DC and sometimes Led Zeppelin for when we need a heavy, intense song. It's like, come on, man. There's more shit out there. I'm not saying you can't use those bands. Just pick the different song. We don't need Highway to Hell, Welcome to the Jungle. Like, everyone uses those songs. Keep it interesting, bro. Okay, how many missions are here? Okay, until a DLC. We're probably not gonna get through all of this today, that's for sure. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 19 missions. I could probably try to get through, like, let's try to get half of them done, maybe. If we get to, like, at least a 10, that'd be good. Netflix, do you think Netflix is waiting to see how Fallout before they pursue any further with their Bioshock series film? I think yes and no. I think it's going to be waiting for Fallout, as well as the adaptation of The Last Airbender coming out. Because this time, it actually looks like the show. Like, they got Ong with Asian look. He has the actual blue tattoo with the orange suit ripped out of the cartoon. Like, they're unlike The Last Airbender live action, where the set pieces actually were not completely terrible, but they just didn't use it with good CGI. And a shoddy script, because you're trying to condense an entire first season into one 90-minute movie. I had the misfortune of seeing that bullcrap in theaters. Family wanted to go see Despicable Me in the theater we went to. I literally taken it out the day before, so we were like, we already came down here. Oh, that was painful. I should just paint it black. Okay, my bias is that if you do paint it black, I prefer the Wasp version. The original one is not bad at all, but Wasp has that heavier edge that they're looking for with the Guns N' Roses. But also it's different enough that a lot of people haven't heard it. So it's like, oh, familiar yet different. So I can work with that. Let's try let's go back to Attacker. Yeah, let me read this first. Intelligence officers Ares and his team have begun surveillance and investigation of ants on the mother computer in Deimos. After receiving surprising reports that other units were under dat en route, now approaching Maneras 2, with a number of canyons to clear before reaching the colony. That's a short exposition dump. Yeah, by Dawkins, yeah. It's like, hey, you know, Dawkins got more songs than just the one they did for Nightmare on Elm Street 3? Did you know that? Did you know that? Next, you'll be telling me there's Black Sabbath and it's more than just the first album. Saxon? No, kidding, no. Painted about him in the 60s. He has a lot of German. Well, yeah, people forget a lot of the good metal bands are from Germany too. Like people forget the Scorpions are German, the same way people forget that ABBA are Swedish. Oh, wait, does it kill him with one bullet, or does it take like? Okay, wait. Okay, so one bullet does kill them. So I don't have to hold down the turret. Yeah, because the problem with Dawkins, because not Dawkins themselves, Dawkins is heavier than people give him credit for. The issue is that, see, Dawkins, there's like 4 bands, like Dawkins, Scorpions, and there's 2 more on top of my head I can't remember, like, specifically. Dawkins, yeah, AC/DC are, I thought they were all New Zealanders who met up in Australia for AC/DC. Yeah, because it's Dawkins, it's, shit. Yeah, can't remember the name. Fuck. Dawkins, Scorpions, well, I can't remember off the top of my head, but the reason why I can't remember them is because all of them are like lumped in the hair metal genre. I look what hair metal turned into. It turned into shit like Van Halen. Van Halen's not bad at all, but remember, for every song like Eruption or Hot for Teacher or, you know, their other cooler songs that they've got, you have songs like Jump, The Ice Cream Man, and their entire slower half of the discography. And because those bands got equally big, you know, alongside hard rock bands that became glam afterwards, like Bon Jovi, hair metal in general just kind of has this much softer perception. So even though Dawkins is heavier, and I'd say closer to more traditional heavy metal and thrash, because they're in that genre, they have the perception of being more soft, even though they can get away with a lot more. It's kind of like the reverse of nu metal, where you have, you know, Deftones, you got Korn, you had Rage Against the Machine, System of a Down, where the bands actually had a unique identity, but then because everyone just chose to be like Limp Bizkit or just like down tuned to oblivion with one finger chords, it doesn't matter how good you were. Oh, you're nu metal, you're automatically shit. You have to prove yourself out of that bottle. Whereas glam metal, once you were in the club, essentially, you were practically safe. Everybody remembers Quiet Riot? There you go. Yeah, Quiet Riot and Rat. Those were the other 2. Quiet Riot, Rat, Dawkins, and Scorpion. Those are the 4 that are heavier than everybody gives them credit for. Oh shit, sorry, did I need to hold position? Attack! India has a really underrated rock scene. Well, them and the African desert right now have a really intense metal scene. The issue, of course, you know, is that it's not like, you know, typical like Western rock. So, no bueno. And Mexico has a humongous Mexican metal scene. No shit, it's Mexican in Mexico. Kind of how Japan has a big metal scene, but if it's not what they want, it's bad. Like, it doesn't help that a lot of the big Japanese bands are either just like, hey, here's ex-Japan / flatbacker kind of dealio, or you get bands that are like Ningen Isu, which they're really good, but like Wagaki Bando, they're really Japanese. So if you come from the guitars and anything else, you're not really in tune with them. Then you got then of course you got the biggest one right now, Baby Metal, which they're hard to talk about because they only got big because Rob Halford met up with them, like Marty Friedman, Rob Halford, like people who love to actually experiment with their metal music, met up with them and they said they're amazing. But most metal fans, once they have a flavor of metal that they like, they really don't like messing with it. It's like a vanilla ice cream. They keep it vanilla, don't add sprinkles, don't add chocolate, and keep it the way it is. And with Baby Metal is that the way they're run as a band from the business perspective, they're run very much like an idol group. We don't have that kind of culture in the Western world. So it's really tough for them to get into that. But when you play them live, you know, they get really improvisational, experimental, avant-garde shit that you would never ever get on the album. So they're one of the cases where, on the record, they're like a J-metal group, the pop element. But if you see them on wrong arrow, if you see them on live, they turn into fucking Buckethead. And Buckethead's also another guy who people can't get into because he's just so all over the place. My fist. You will now receive the Fist of Fury. Alright. Hey. Yeah. If you haven't heard any of Buckethead stuff, he was actually with Guns N' Roses for the last album, Chinese Democracy, because he was like the only member I think who stayed through alongside Slash for the entirety of that fiasco. But Buckethead's also a guy. If you like Doom, get the John Romero Watt Pack Sigil. He wrote both the MIDI soundtrack as well as played a full metal soundtrack with all the guitars. But no joke, I'm not kidding. He has legitimately over 400 albums of recorded music. And there's so much more that he improvises live. But there are people out there who look at him and say, oh, that man's got a... God damn it, it's up there. People out there who look at him and say, oh, we've got a KFC bucket on his head. There's no way I'm going to give him respect. Like, but you wanted that, though. You want new shit. Yeah, metalheads will gatekeep the fuck out of you for saying you're like maybe metal. You're about to get it. Yeah, and that's the problem. Horns can only unite for so much. After that, you start splitting. I mean, even if you took baby metal out of the equation, how many people out there are 80s fucking purists? Anything after 80s, not even 2 decades of metal, and it's already been quote-unquote ruined? Because the other thing when it goes back to music, you know, do you just enjoy listening to music, or do you play music? Are you the more creative type, or are you the kind of guy who you play what the sheet music says? Because just because you can play, what doesn't mean you can actually write a song. How do I get up there then? Yeah, the same fucker used to keep the fuck out of you for saying you like grunge, except for Alice in Chains and maybe Stone Temple Pilots. How do I get up there though? Can I even get up there? That's not gonna work. But yeah, I'm also one of the weirdos who loves experimental stuff, so I'm not completely opposed to these ideas. Other people were acting like, oh my god, you put Oreo cookies in Listerine. I'm like, down there? It should be. Is it down there? Fucking down there, I swear. Okay, well, let me go down there. To be born to pass over the JSDF or be a citizen for a amount of time. I actually don't know off the top of my head. I should look that up. But I would not be surprised if it was a, if you wound up having to be a citizen. Oh, we're getting somewhere. His goal is to gatekeep anime tourists. You call them tourists. I like to call them pigeons because they peck at everything and they shit everywhere. The hardest part for anime tourists, so gatekeeping anime tourists is actually surprisingly very easy. Just don't do what mainstream anime does. And mainstream anime is barely anime. And notice, in the Western world, it's either always the slice of life, or it's always the action series. It's why Cowboy Bebop is like even among people who hate anime, because it's like, or even Gunsmith Camp. It's anime for people who hate anime. If you want to gatekeep them out, just make anime like you did in the 80s and 90s. You go into your concept, don't apologize, don't give a fuck, be like Violence Jack, have the rape, have the murder, have the brutality on your screen. But nowadays everything is so sanitized because of TV restrictions, and that's why OVAs could get away with everything, because OVAs were literally straight to DVD releases that you would have for rentals, and that's why they can get away with so much. Get up there. F is good. Or the ants. I want to stomp some ants. Yeah, the other part with metal is that, or anything when you gatekeep, there comes a very difficult fine point that you cannot distinguish between being asshole and asshole elitist and a gatekeeper. I've seen people who say that Van Halen and, you know, they got their favorite 80s other shredders, you know, doing what they're doing, and that's fine. But then they'll hate on Devin Townsend. But like, but Devin Townsend is a creative motherfucker. But then Steve Vai will do the exact same shit, and then they'll give Steve Vai a pass. Oh, and props to Steve Vai, because last year he actually got a #1 charting album, like, after all these fucking years. After this mission, I'll look up the JSDF thing. I wouldn't be surprised if you have to be a citizen. Being a Japanese citizen is not easy, because technically you can only have one citizen ship at a time. The problem with Japan, unlike a lot of other countries, there's not many perks, I'd argue, to give up your citizenship. Yeah, but also at the same time with metal, there was like, who gets to dictate what decade when metal goes to shit? You know, like, it's not fair that you grew up in the 80s and yet that gets to be the metal standard, but then the other kids grew up one decade later. They couldn't help it. Magically, that's now bad metal music. And then the 2000s are a different behemoth, you know? Different influences, different time, different decade, you're gonna wind up differently. It's like, say, Gothic horror. Gothic horror goes... People love Lovecraft, but the first Gothic horror goes around the same time when you wrote fucking Frankenstein, you know, when shit going wrong was supposed to happen in your story. We're too far, okay. Throwback metal, I'm really mixed on that. See, 'cause again, I'm the weirdo who wants to experiment with shit to find new things. I don't want to go back to the 80s and stay there. I want to go back to the 80s, go and say, okay, what did the 90s do? What parts did they throw away? Now take those parts that they threw away out of the trash can and make something with that shit, man. It's like food waste. A lot of food waste is not because of portion control, it's because people can't be creative with their leftovers. Nobody wants to get creative, because being creative means you gotta risk taking a failure. Like, if I told someone, hey, fix this band that you don't like, but you just cannot turn this band you don't like into a band you do like. Like, if you don't like, let's say, Cannibal Corpse, you're not allowed to turn them into Dokken, because then you're distributing away the entire agenda. If I said, you have to make death metal not suck, for example, for people who don't like death metal, they can't do it because they can't think in pieces, they can't think in abstract, they can't think of it. This is why you get bands that this is why you get artists like Van Halen and Malmsteen, who should be working together, you know, piece by piece. Like they should be working together as allies, you know. Sorry. Attack. Yeah, Malmsteen and Van Halen, they should be working piece by piece, side by side, as great, amazing allies, because they're so similar. But Van Halen, literally, everything he does is stuff that Malmsteen would never do. Malmsteen literally said that he's one of the few guys that he respected, because even though he did everything he would never do. I mean, was it Yngwie Malmsteen admit himself that he had to, it took him 20 years until the 2000s for him to tolerate the sound of humbuckers. And newsflash, unless you have single player pickups, you are most likely using humbuckers on your guitar, kind of though. It's why you get people like Mustaine of Megadeth who they get guitars like Marty Friedman, Chris Poland, you know, Kiko Lato, you know, all these crazy people who think completely different but can merge well with them. And the final product is like, oh, it's just this band. But if you told people, hey, you play one style, this guy plays a completely different style from you, you need to make it work. They're not going to. It's just too much fucking work. I mean, and I'm not saying throwback games are bad. I'm just saying that you just can't. Don't just stay there. You know, gotta get rid of this stupid. Okay, let me see. Oh, to serve in the JSDF. Unfortunately, when they first came out, were basically indistinguishable from Iron Maiden. Now I have a more sound on that still sounds 80s. We can bitch about how Extra has gone to shit, or we celebrate the good throwback games being now. Yeah, my big fear is that it just becomes a case of a photocopy to where eventually you'll get to where there's no difference past the point. Like, not now, but like, give it 10 years and you'll see what I mean. Okay, 50 different parts. Here's the fun of that era. Okay, so it looks like again we're talking about probably two different things. Yeah. So if you're talking about just having the fun of the era, fuck yeah, bring that shit back. I have no problem with that. But I have legit met people who are like, who are just like the 80s the greatest. Any deviation of that is like just sacrilege. Like you want like people who like the 80s style, but they're adding to it. That's fine. That's great. That's what we need. Just take from there and build on top of that. That's perfect. I'm talking about the ones who literally demand clones and anything. But you're a clone that will never be better because you're just a clone. But anything that tries to be different is bad because you're ruining it. It's like, what the fuck's the point? Recruitment conditions, okay? 18 years of age, voluntary, self-defense for a fixed term, usually 2 years. I'm not finding anything on this. Maybe you have to actually be a... Okay. Can a forwarder join the self-defense force? Let's see, Alejandro. Okay, so the JCF allows non-Japanese citizens to enlist as long as they meet certain criteria. First, must be 18 years older, but no older than 34. And they must have at least a long-term visa or permanent residency status in Japan. Must possess a good command of the Japanese language skills as well, as all the information is under there. Of course, you know, you must pass the physical medical background checks and mental evaluations. But certain roles are sensitive, and those certain roles may be restricted to Japanese citizens only. Is your answer, Alejandro? Got enough? If you got permanent residency or permanent residency or long-term visa, you can join there. But you must have good Japanese though. Ants are armed or resist violently, but reports come in about them being conquered by the Alliance Mars. Ally guns will also reinforce that. Matter of time to take them back. Dance, that's what's fun to call it Mineras too. Marinara too. Bring out the pizza sauce, everybody. Complete all goals. Oh, I forgot you have to pick the robot before we go on the mission.
ターゲット捕捉。作戦開始してください。
Kaishi, let's go.
やった。
So 2 and 3 toggle your camera, I guess? No, it's your weapon. And if you, yeah, when it comes to gatekeeping though, the reason I'm focused on those really extreme whiners is because the whiners are the ones that make it very hard to get any progress done. Because they're the loudest. Like anything else in life, there's always the whiners that there's less of them, but they're so loud that people just give in on what they do, you know? Stamina! Look for stamina ramen right now. Let's see. I think it's marvelous. I'm getting a lot of that Earth Defense Force vibes. Game's also fun. And oh, we got a cutscene. That type.
作戦目標が更新されました。走行回復しました。
For the nostalgia blinds you argument is nothing for people who can't stand the new things like being criticized. You don't like the others. Yeah. I gotta reread that statement. I'm processing that sentence 3 different ways. After I complete this objective, I'll read it again. We're about to run out of shoulder missiles. I guess not. Oh man, if it wasn't for copyright, I would play Ziltoid Strikes by Devin Townsend. That's a great song. You shot me. I know it's Mars, but it's basically... Oh, where are the gigantic cockroach men at? Damn, that robot thick. Where are we at? Okay, with that, eliminate all enemies. Let's go. I'm gonna switch back to my main gun. Because... Roger, roger. Why that whole position that should be in attack mode? Oh my god, I wonder the guy. Why is it jittery like that? It's like waiting for me to follow it? I guess that's what they want, right? Oh. Yeah, okay, that's my fault for being Captain Dumbass. Oh, just keep position, you'll be okay. Oh. Just me. Not just probably have to redo this mission. Okay, let me pause the game quickly. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, let me review this and process this right. I feel the nostalgia blinds you argument is a nothing argument for people who can't stand the newer things they like being criticized, or they don't like being liked by others. That could be most people, but I'm just the weirdo who's like, why can't we just take these two bands and you can't mix them? Like, why can't I say, what was it, like if I like Bathory, like I like the demonic evilness and all that, like why can't I mix that with Dragon Force and but use, you know, the 9-string like animals as leaders, for example? And then all people tell me you can't mix them, they're not supposed to be mixed, they keep them separate. I'm the guy, I'm the one who's like, hey, put that accordion, or have you seen the video of that lady playing the harp but she hooked her harp up to like one of those heavy bass distortion pedals, and it sounded really, really good. Like, the tone was so good, it sounded like a guitar, and it actually set up one of those copyright strike bots, because it thought it was from the actual isolated track. Yeah, I'm not against it. Like, I probably have a wider palette than most people. I like traditional heavy metal and hard rock as I do deathcore and metalcore. But then people right there will tell me, oh, you like the cores, you know? Like they're magically off limits and shit. I'm looking more so for the technique and the methodology. At the end of the day, it's just 12 notes, and you can't tell something has a reason to exist more than another. Because when you do... Oh, that's the first failure of the game. Alright then. Alright. Alright. Oh, a better example. Think of it like for Doom Eternal. I like the Doom Eternal soundtrack. I prefer the original one of 2016. But with Doom Eternal, I remember being a server, and they were just mad that Doom 2016's soundtrack was just not the 80s stuff. Well, the reason they picked the 80s stuff in the original Doom was because that's what was big at the time. They had an Alice in Chains song in there. They had a Nirvana song in there. Because these bands were bands that sold and made money in the 80s. It was an 80s, 90s game. Let me change that thing. Heavy Gunner. And what happened was, then in Doom 3, you literally got the guitarist from Marilyn Manson to write the entire goddamn game. That's just where metal was at the time in the late 90s, early 2000s. Same way how metal is with Doom 2016 and Eternal. But they didn't want that because they wanted 80s. So when, after the whole incident with Mick Gordon and him leaving, Andrew Hushult was hired to bring it in. And Andrew Hushult originally was a guy who did the Doom soundtrack, I Don't Kill It For Anyone, IDKFA. Which was just basically the original 80s Doom, the 80s inspired Doom tracks with modern production. And why did people like that in that server? Because it was just the 80s. That's what it was. Maybe I encounter these types way more than you do, but that's probably what's influenced my opinion on this shit. I'm the guy's like, go ahead, bring on Eternal, bring it on. I love the rhythm-based shit. I love it. I love the change in approach. Especially since the guy actually met Frederick Cardinal and so he knows about how that kind of style was to be written. He met the masters of that style. Two, three. Dash around. I'm not saying you can't like older shit at all, bro. I love my older shit. Again, my two favorite bands, Megadeth and Meshuggah, they're very different behemoths, you know. One's like, I argue, like the pinnacle of all 80s thrash, and then the other one made the 2000s, the late 2000s style way back in the early 1990s. They were 20 years ahead of the curve, essentially. And they still find ways to shake up the game. And they didn't even try. They're just like, hey, this shit sounds cool. Whoa, what the hell? Oh. That explains it. Yeah, it's gonna take a couple tries. Those flips, oh my god. 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. It can't let me shoot them, I'm guessing. Unless it's other reinforcements, no wonder. Gun. Any good Japanese theme parks that aren't Tokyo, Disney, or Universal? Oh yeah, there's Fuji-Q. Fuji-Q's got some great stuff there. Fuji-Q has, they had a Thomas the Tank Engine section, because kids really love that here in Japan. They had an Evangelion exhibit. We can actually see like the head of like a life-size Eva. They have quite a few coasters. Their own Super Sentai team with a stunt show. Their own version like soaring over Japan. Kind of like soaring over America at Disneyland. Oh, I'm gonna die. They're shooting at me! Oh damn. I'm gonna pick a different kind of mech for this shit. Ooh! Run! Run! Okay. The gunships were dispatched to assist the colony or attacked, destroyed in civilian rescue operations. Only the gunship that protected remains. Allied forces recognize and prepare themselves to stop the ants at any cost. This is when the intelligence officer reported its subsequent investigation. Began to find any chance of tampering or hacking. It seemed impossible for the ants have lost control to suddenly be able to arm themselves. Only two possibilities. Either the mother computer is given the orders, or there's someone's premeditated event that we didn't see coming. Nada Dreamworld? I have not heard of Nada Dreamworld, actually. It was the commission of Walt Disney World Park outside of Japan in the US, but Disney backed out of construction, forcing this park to use non-Disney theming. That would explain why Tokyo Disney rents out the characters instead of... It closed in 2006. Yeah, I hadn't even gone to Japan for the first time yet. And apparently they left it up until 2017. That would have been so cool to visit. Chat again. Disney was a very ambitious man. Honestly, I wish he was alive longer so he and Tezuka could have... Imagine if he and Tezuka actually did something. That would have been fucking nuts. Okay, let's try the blocker. Boost Anderson's. Alright, let's try blocker. The cocker blocker. Deploy! Enter, enter, enter. F, right. It's not the enter key, it's F. After analyzing the movements and targets of the armed ant, we determined the next target is the oxygen plant, Le Gasp. Produced via mining ice on the surface powered by electricity cables. Plant is surged by oxygen to all colonies, and destruction would be catastrophic. We did. Dat speaks for its location on the oxygen plant on the icy Borealis plains. Tezuka is the Astro Boy creator, but Tezuka did a lot more than Astro Boy. Like Tezuka is to manga and animation in Japan as Stan Lee is to comics in the West. He did so many genres. He did sci-fi, he did action, he did romance. He had an entire R-rated biopic of Cleopatra done in the 70s that even a lot of Tezuka fans forget he did. Because to him, comics and animation was just a medium. It wasn't away one kind of story. Compare that to Stan Lee. No offense to Stan Lee, I love Stan Lee. But Stan Lee, when he did Marvel, it was almost always exclusively superheroes. And when Stan Lee did finally try to bring manga to the States in translation, because he had that one company before Dark Horse showed up, Stan Lee could have put it under Marvel, like the Marvel imports. He could have made it that, but instead he chose to put it under a different company entirely. And as a result, comics still got that stigma of being only superheroes. Whereas with Tezuka, like, he had this really ambitious work, I think it was called Phoenix, and he died literally in the hospital trying to make that thing because he knew he had no time left. But that man made so many works. But Astro Boy is the biggest one because it's the most popular, and it did get a remake in the early 2000s. Metropolis was the manga of him in the late 40s, that is correct, which was inspired by the film of the same name. Ancient Egyptian waifu with showing the chest and everything. Shelter in emoji. What does that look like? I gotta see it up on YouTube. I have on the chat here. I just see colon shelter. Oh well. Yeah, I'll send you. I think I'll upload it on YouTube actually for free. And side tangent, a lot of these older anime channels who have like 80s and 90s anime in their backlogs, they're just putting it up for free. So, and you can watch it with English closed captioning. And in Japan, it works because sometimes there are uploads that work in Japan, but not outside of Japan, and vice versa. Sometimes people send me clips, and I'm like, I can't watch it; it's blocked in Japan, or I send them clips in Japan. Oh wait, I can't watch it in America. It works good so far. Manga got an adaptation and 01, yes. I was walking by everything. Gun. Oh, that's brutal as fuck. Oh shit. I might probably have to restart this one. Yeah. I'm about to go down. God! Wait, hey! This is not good, man. Give me a care package, man. Okay, so the tiny ones are my enemies, the big ones are allies. What's wrong? Trying so hard not to hit the wheel because that's the commands. They're in attack mode, so it's not me this time. Need an ammo drop. Yeah, Kimba was Tezuka, yeah. It's kind of sad that people only remember Kimba because, hey, it's still the Lion King ripped off. It was Kimba mixed with some Shakespeare in there. Kimba was just the animal idea and the cast, but the overall premise was Shakespeare essentially. But even then, Disney has always been inspired by other animations. Remember, Aladdin, we only have Aladdin because of The Thief and the Cobbler. No Thief and the Cobbler, no Aladdin. It's a shame he passed away, the creator of it, passed away without seeing the recobbled cut. But I don't blame him, like, his original got mutilated like 3-4 times. But at the same time, however, he should have just played the business aspect of it a lot more. For people who don't know, for even the Cobbler, the movie was practically finished, but it turns out the guy, okay, so kind of complicated, but the movie was practically finished at one point. And what had happened was there was a bit of one of the guys had financed the movie, and his son was allowed to work on the project as well. And the son was a very creative guy. He contributed character designs and everything for the movie. And what happened though is that the guy's son was caught cooking the books, taking money from the project. And I hate to say it, they called him out for it. if the guy was smart, he would have just said, he was smart, he would have said, he would have dealt with him after the movie was released and distributed. But instead, he called him out right then and there. And the guy said, okay then, but you put in the contract that I own these character designs. I own this parts of the story. And if you're going to kick me off the project because you got fired for cooking the books, then I'm going to walk away with my ideas. And thus they had to spend another decade or two reanimating and rewriting everything because they couldn't use his official ideas. And to make matters worse, they had ideas for scenes, but they didn't have stories. And they got all the money from people around the world, including one of those Saudi princes. And the issue with the Saudi prince is that the Saudi prince was an artist as well. But when he saw how the scale of the project kept getting bigger and bigger, and how they were not able to meet deadlines because they had so many ideas they wanted to do and they could not fix one, it was, I hate to say it, it was essentially the Nomad, the Star Citizen of animation. And the Saudi prince knew what an overachiever looked like who had no sense of scale or discipline to know where to cut corners, where to call it quits, and where to have a finished vision. So eventually, he stopped funding them. As a project, however, thought it to be a Kimba movie. As a project like in Kimba, I would not be surprised if we have a Western Astro Boy film by Fox Animation. That one wasn't too bad actually, but like, how did those guys also do Dragon Ball Evolution? Well, yeah, the Saudi prince get money, and then they go to Miramax for investment, and Miramax was, you know, the Disney people. Well, Miramax is one of those tiny companies that, you know, DreamWorks buys out, Universal buys out. Then some other people, and Disney at the time owned it. I think it was around the time when Roger Rabbit came out, so it would have owned Touchstone as well. Oh no. See, Jayon! Oh shit, gun. Where's he at? Drive him away! Where is he at? Let's drive him away, but where? Oh, there they are! They were not there a second ago! What the hell? Oh shit. Wanna play that game, huh? Oh shit. Right there. Damn! Can't shake him. Oh, you fucker. I think Princess Yum-Yum from the Miramax version of Thief in the Collar sounds nice, pretty. Yeah, the design of and her voice was pretty good. I'm gonna pick a different mech. Yum-Yum, yeah, it's a tough call because Yum-Yum's design is pretty good, but I gotta admit, I think Disney one-upped her with Jasmine. But I do appreciate how Yum-Yum really just like nailed that Middle Eastern vibe, whereas Jasmine's more like. There's something that it feels more mystical and old school with Yum-Yum compared to Jasmine. That's just me. Supporta. Let's go. Deploy. I'm begging you. Let me work. Let's see this final work. Yep. I try again. Absolute Chad. What's so Chad about me dying, bro? Later I see I'll see if I can upgrade. You probably can customize the mech, but I've not tried that yet. Attack mode. Yeah, Tezuka's gone, but I would love to meet Hiroaki Samura, just because the way he does his stuff and everything. Three. Yeah, after this, after this stream, I'll probably take a break and try to edit that video. Yeah, Shotcut has been really wonky, like freezing, so I had to update yesterday, and it took forever to download because SourceForge was being super duper slow. What divot? You're like surrounding all the pickups. I can't get anything. Ah! So Jessica and Yum Yum, yes, a lot, in all the places that count, particularly the curves. Oh yeah, Chad refusing to give up his passion in death, even, yeah. But what I like about it is that it's not a horrifically tragic story, you know? It's just a creator loving it. And honestly, Satoshi Kon is very similar. Because he was like trying to think of ideas when he was dying too of cancer. Satoshi Kon, again, if you've ever seen Inception or Black Swan, he did the original anime versions of them, Perfect Blue and Paprika. They're not exactly the same, but I'd say as an Americanization of those ideas, Inception and Perfect Blue are fine. I understand that part of the cultural norms that... Oh shit! God damn it, I was close too. Good. Whoa! Where'd my teammates go? I can't zoom off, I can't shake him. Oh, you fuckers! Missiles are gonna be my fucking death now. Why can't I get past this? If I die, I'm gonna try to customize next. Secret Operative Lamau and Limphao strike again. Alright, we're good. Die, die, die. Get over it! I can't tell if they're just spawning out of nowhere because there's more enemies, or if it's just how the game works, because this is a handheld game. Lost area. How do we do this? Ah! Oh, die! Everybody just die! Oh, there it is. Bingo! DT, well, he did mean Walt, yeah, but I'm hoping for a full-on collaboration, you know? Like, imagine if instead it's like, well, if Walt had lived to be an old man, like a super-duper old man, and they had worked on, like, a semi-Kimba Simba kind of thing. Like neither Lion King nor Kimba existed, but it was an amazing thing in the middle. Probably would be a pain in the ass to get re-releasing rights for that, but... Pyre for sci-fi. Oh, come on. If only it happened. Well, someone's gonna have to make that, because we're not gonna get it from them, sadly. I'll collect everything first. Next ammo. Okay.
シールドエネルギーチャージ完了。走行回復しました。
I'm hoping I don't die here. Very sparse with the ammo here. Yeah. Do you know what project you wanted to do, like, exactly? Or was it just an was this a sci-fi project that was still, like, on paper? I think that Disney should combine their still in development dinosaur with the TLK, the Tyrant Lizard King. Hey, that one actually would have been cool. That would have been dope. I remember the movie Dinosaur. Good old Aladar. They're all dead, right? There's one more that I left alive. And let me charge up first my shield. I see no one here. Interesting. You see, there's no one on my screen. If something just popped out of nowhere, you know it's not me. Oh, that's why I can't find it. Three F, gotcha. See, there's nothing on my screen, right? Yep, okay, so... Oh, what the heck? Oh, crap. So much shit being shot at, my god. I legit don't know if it's my method or if it's he's just better. God damn it. Yeah, we got to customize this next. It's the only way I'm gonna win if I have any chance. If not, practice this off stream. With all the loot, that's pretty good though. Hangar, navigate settings. Unit design. Oh, we can change it. All right. Unit 2. Oh, we can change the units. Okay. Escape is not back, just C. Yeah, let's make one. Why is it not showing? Yeah, it works. Oh, so you probably need to unlock more stuff here. Assault rifle? Shotgun? Wait. Firing gap of 20, but rapid fire. I'll take that one. Grenade knuckle. Okay then. Not set. Plasma gun. Let's do a submachine gun. Can't. Let's do a Vulcan. Autocannon 2. Shock barrier. Let's do a crucial. Now, hopefully this lets me actually use it. I don't need all those parts. Name. Let's call it test. Test JL, let's go here. And hopefully let's see this thing let me try it in the back. I doubt it, but it would be fun though. Okay, so quarter. So if I just have to stay with my teammates, I should probably go back to attacker. Let's try this again. Clicked off the game. Yeah, this is not a full screen game. It takes those smaller windows. Oh, those are smaller windows. Fuck that. Attack post. Let me see who's a teammate this time. Are you not shooting the tank in front of you? No wonder you're dying. Oh, dude. No wonder they're dying. They're being morons. Oh my god. Can I restart the mission? Controls. You can't even customize the controls. Wow. Wow. You know what? Let me just support and try again. Because apparently you being my team's not gonna help. Let's try to get past this. Yeah, I gotta pick the assault gunner too. Regular gunner's not working here. Yeah. Let's try assault. That was just sad. Hopefully this is it. Not gonna suck. Am I moving slow? Am I moving slower? Because it feels like it. Maybe because I just changed types here.
ここまで誰か奴を止めて
No, I'm actually slowing down. Okay, right.
エリアの制圧を開始します。
All right, let's go.
やられたわ
良き全滅しました。走行回復しました。
Were there any other? Let's see, what are Disney movies you think could have been better, like, or canceled projects that would have been there? I know it's not Disney, but DreamWorks had a movie that they wanted to make about like where the shadows were hand drawn, where the actors were all, with the characters were all CGI. What was it called though? Oh shit.
エリアの制圧を開始します。
Go.
シートエネルギーチャージ完了。
Seems going pretty good. Let's see.
エリアの制圧を開始します。 エリアの制圧を開始します。制圧完了しました。
He disappeared. I wonder.
シールド回復しました。走行回復しました。
Put around, circles, how this works.
エリアの制圧を開始します。作戦目標が更新されました。
Oh yeah, I'm intending for sitting there.
走行回復しました。
All right, let's do this.
弾薬を補給してください。
God damn it.
走行回復しました。シートエネルギーチャージ完了。消化。
Oh shit. Oh damn, I thought we were gone. No, 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 no. Oh damn.
走行回復しました。
Why do I think Universal hasn't done most of the DreamWorks IPs come with big revival off their films? Yeah, because they bought them. Like the first film that Universal did under
回復しました。
the DreamWorks in their eye possession was the Captain Underpants movie. And let me tell you, I enjoyed the hell out of that movie. Granted, I was a fan of the books. I actually reread them before the movie. And it's amazing how much they crammed into that thing. It's amazing. I mean, there's something from the... It's the first 4 books crammed into one film. Some changes, but it makes sense. It's still very much Captain Underpants. And the celebrity voice acting actually fit the characters. I'll give him that. I think they haven't done much because, well, I think they kind of realized that. I think they kind of have this subconsciously treat it where DreamWorks is more like the artsy stuff where they can do whatever they want to do. But the Illumination can get away with being mediocre, made for cheap, cash grab stuff. Illumination is like the more. It's like Illumination will exist to keep DreamWorks afloat, if that makes sense, from a creative standpoint. Unlike now, where you have, you know, let's say Disney has to kind of like everything has to make $1 million. Shrek 4D. Oh, that's good. I mean, you could. I think is there a DVD we could buy Shrek 4D in there?
ルドエネルギーチャージ完了。
Yeah, man, Strike 4D was way before even Dreamworks bought, to be fair.
走行回復しました。
But I think maybe probably none of them are like as iconic in terms of, you know, mass marketing and all that. Like Back to the Future, the ride, yeah. My mechas are gone. Like that's depressing.
生命反応探知。有人機です。
Please, please, please let me get past it this time. If not, it's
目
over.
標が更新されました。
Okay, I'm going in the middle.
映像を
I don't want to be next to anything. Come on, turn around.
記録はありません。転送し、照合を依頼します。
Yeah, 40. Yeah, 40 was a bit before. Was 42. Oh shit. Okay.
シールドエネルギーチャージ完了。
Totally isn't infuriating at all. God damn it, yeah. All ogre now. Well, perfect timing. Crimson Knight is all ogre now. I'm gonna have to do this off stream and figure out what mech is best, and there's something I'm doing wrong clearly. Yeah, if everything goes well, maybe I can probably do. I got tomorrow off too, so maybe you can do another stream of this tomorrow. Try some practicing tonight. I'll do another poll and figure how that works. C is back. Alright, guys. I want to say thank you guys for joining me today here on this first part of Assault Gunners. It's not quite Armored Core, but it's certainly a lot cheaper. So yeah, then if you guys like what you saw, you know what to do, guys. Take care and raise the horns.